Jai Mahamaya Ki Jai, Vishveshwari Mata Ki Jai. In our last discourse, we heard about the worship of the Divine Mother. We'll go on to chapter 40 now. The Devi said, getting up from the bed early in the morning, one is to meditate on the 1,000-petaled lotus bright of the color of camphor in the top part of one's brain in the head. On this, he should remember his Sri Guru, very gracious looking, very decorated with ornaments, and his consort Shakti, and bow down to him. Within him, he should meditate on the Kundalini Devi thus: I take refuge unto the highest Shakti Kundalini of the nature of the Supreme Consciousness, who is manifest as Chaitanya while upgoing to the Brahmadra, the aperture supposed to be at the crown of the head, through which the soul takes its flight at death, and who is the nature of nectar while returning back in the Susamna canal. After meditating thus, he should meditate on the blissful form of mind within the Kundalini. Fire situated in the Muladhara lotus. Then he should rise up to go for the calls of nature and complete his rituals and other duties. The best of the Brahmins then should, for my satisfaction, perform the Agni Homa, and sitting on his asana, make sankalp, determination, to do my puja, my worship. Next, he is to make Bhuta Sutta, purification of the elements of the body by respiring attraction and replacement, and then the Matrik Nyasa. Then he should arrange the letters of the root mantra of Maya and execute the Matrika Nyasa. In this, he is to place the letter Ha in the Muladhara, and the letter Ra in the heart, and the vowel I in the middle of the brows, and Hrim on the top part of his head. Finishing then all other nyasas according to the mantra, he should think within the body Dharma, Jnana, Virgyam, and prosperity as the four legs of the seat, and the Adharma, Ajnana, Avayangyam, and non-prosperity, these four as the body of the seat on the four quarters, east, south, north, and west. Then he should meditate on the great Devi in the lotus of his heart. On, O mountain, Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra, Sadashiva, and Ishvara are the 5 petals situated under my feet. These are the nature of earth, water, fire, air, and ether, the 5 elements, and also the nature of waking, dreaming, deep sleep, the 4th state, and the 5th state, excluding the 4 states corresponding to the 5 states. But I, who am the nature of Brahma, am over and above the 5 elements and the 5 states. Therefore, my seat is always on the top of these 5 forces. Meditating on me thus, worshiping me with his mind concentrated, he is next to make japa, recitation of my name slowly. After japa, he should make over the fruits of japa to me. He should then place the articles for external worship. Then the worshipper is to sprinkle with the Astra mantra Fat all the articles of worship that are placed in front of him and purify them. He should close the 10 quarters with the mudra and bow down to his guru. Taking his permission, he should meditate on the outside seat, the beautiful divine form of his heart lotus, and invoke the deity outside and place her on the seat by prana prishta, and perform avahana and present of her an offering of green grass, rice made in worshipping, sampadya, water for washing her feet, and achmana, water for a bath, a complete couple of clothes, all sorts of ornaments or scents, flowers, and the necessary ornaments with due devotion, and he should worship the attendant deities of the yantram. If one be unable to worship daily the attendant deities, one must worship them on Fridays. Of the attendant deities, one must meditate the principal deity of the nature of Prabha, illumination, and think that by her rays the three worlds are pervaded. Next, he should worship again the Bhuvaneshwari Devi, the chief deity, along with the other attendant deities with scents, good-smelling flowers, and navidyam, and various other tasty dishes. He should then recite the Sahasrama, 1,000 names Strota, and the Devi Sukta mantra. And the Upanishad mantra of Bhuvaneshwari, the famous mantras, repeating and thus bring my satisfaction. With hearts filled with love and with hairs standing on their ends, all should satisfy me frequently with tears of love flowing down their eyes, and with voices choked with feelings, and with dancing, music, and singing, and with his whole body filled with joy. My glory is well established in the Vedas, Parayana, and in all the Puranas. So for my satisfaction, one should offer daily to me one's everything with one's body and recite the readings from the Vedas. Next, after completing the fire ceremony, he should feed the Brahmins, the young virgins, well clothed, the boys and the public and the poor, thinking of all of them to be so many forms of me. Then he should bow before the Devi that resides in his heart, and finally, by Samhara Mudra, take leave of the deity invoked. O one of good vows, the mantra Hrim is the chief of the mantras, so my worship and all others' actions ought to be performed with this Hrim mantra. I am always reflected in that mirror of the mantra form. So anything offered in that mantra of mine is offered, as it were, with all the mantras. Then one should worship the Guru with ornaments and think oneself blessed. O Himalayas, nothing remains at any time unavailable to him who worships thus the Bhuvaneshwari Devi. After quitting a body, he goes to the Manidvipa, my place. He gets the form of the Devi, and the Devas constantly bow down to him. Thus I've described to you the rules of worshiping the great Devi. Consider this in all the aspects and worship me according to your claim, and you will attain your goal. There is no doubt in this, O best of the mountains. This Sastra Devi Gita you are not to tell to those who are not the devotees, to those who are enemies, and to those who are cunning. If one gives out the secret of the Gitas, it is like taking off the covering from the breast of the mother. So carefully keep it secret and think that this is very necessary. This Devi Gita ought to be given to a disciple, a bhakta, the oldest son, and to one who is good-natured and well-dressed and devoted to the Devi. O mountain, in the time of Shraddha, solemn obsequies performed in the honor of the many of the deceased ancestors, he gets the highest place of the Pitras who reads the Devi Gita before the Brahmanas. Vedavyasa said, the Devi vanished there after describing all these. The Devas were glad and considered themselves blessed by the sight of the Devi. O Janamejaya, Himavati next took her birth in the house of the Himalayas and was known by the name of Gauri. Lord Shiva, the Deva of the Devas, married her. Kartika was born of them, and Kartika killed Tadaka Asura, the demon that could only be killed by Shiva's son. O king, the ancient times when the ocean was churned, many gems were obtained. At that time the Devas chanted hymns to the Devi, and with a concentrated mind to get Lakshmi Devi to show favor to the Devas, Rama Devi got out of the Rami Devi got out of the ocean. The Devas gave Lakshmi to Vishnu, the lord of the Vaikuntha. Vishnu was very glad at this. O king, thus I have described to you the greatness of the Devi and the birth of both Lakshmi and Gauri. One's desires are fulfilled when one hears this. O king, the secret I have described to you, take care not to divulge it to any other body. This is the ancient secret of the Gita, so carefully conceal it. O one of pure heart, I have told you this divine and sin-destroying narration that you asked. What more do you want? Please say. Here ends the 40th chapter of the 7th book on the external worship of the Devi in the Mahapuranam Srimad Devi Bhagavatam of 18,000 verses by Maharishi Veda Vyasa. Jai Mahamaya ki jai, Vishveshwari Mata ki jai, Bule Baba ki jai.